Seeing John Cena opening his show just feels right. It feels like the good old days. It's kinda crazy we're going to see that for 7 weeks straight. And I was kinda surprised by Jimmy's involvement. It did feel a little random. Now one can hope John Cena is going to be at the next WWE pay-per-view, so I can only imagine we're getting AJ Styles and John Cena versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. I don't mind the storyline like I've said, but I do feel like it's way too early for Jimmy Uso to be in the bloodline again. This is a pretty big episode of SmackDown. I mean, we got John Cena, Jimmy Uso with a brand new theme song, which is a bit of a banger. AJ being in the main event felt right. And of course, The Miz and LA Knight delivered again. The storyline has no right to be that good. So welcome back to Greatness of SmackDown. Before we talk about everything that happened, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM, where you can actually prove that you can book it better. Wrestling GM is the best wrestling simulation game in the world. The only game where you can be a business owner, TV show writer, and universe creator at the same time. Pick who fights, who becomes champion, manage each wrestler's career, write your own storylines and feuds, and even create your own wrestlers and companies. Find out why 250k plus players continually keep playing Wrestling GM. The game is very deep and the opportunities to play it are endless. It is the perfect mix of creativity and strategy. You can control and create all the outcomes within the game. I also played this game before on my channel. The playlist of Wrestling GM series is in the description below. Wrestling GM is available on all iOS and Android devices, and there's a link to download the game in the description below. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing today? Let's jump into SmackDown. So the show kicks off with John Cena like it's 2010 all over again. The promo wasn't anything that special because every time John Cena makes an appearance after a long time, kinda does the same thing. He thanks the fans and shows his appreciation, which I'm not saying is bad, but pretty expected. So he's really happy to be back, and he announced he's going to host Payback. He gives his word that he will do his best to give back to fans, and that starts tonight. Then we see Jimmy Uso with a brand new theme song, which I believe is pretty good, and you can tell he's a heel. He asks John Cena, "What are you doing here?" Jay claims again that the reason why he helped Roman Reigns to win the match is to help his brother. That's how much he loves Jey Uso. He says the funny thing is, he didn't want Jay to be corrupted by Roman Reigns or John Cena. All you and Roman do is take, and the only difference is John Cena does it with a smile. But man, we got that classic John Cena. He says he knows Jimmy has a lot on his mind and is trying to make sense of everything. Cena says the wrong Uso quit. Jimmy looks to super kick Cena, but Cena catches it and delivers an attitude adjustment. Welcome back, John Cena. So this whole thing was pretty unexpected in my opinion. Not that I minded though. Jimmy Uso being in a program with John Cena is actually pretty big for the dude. Apparently Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are a tag team right now, which I love. Very similar characters. So it's Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, which was actually a really fun match, and I love this tag team. Did I miss something? I'm pretty sure I've talked about SmackDown last week, so not sure what is happening. Maybe I've missed some social media posts, but Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, I mean, they don't do anything in the WWE anyway right now. Maybe this is going to be really beneficial. And they won the match, which makes things even better. Jimmy Uso interrupts Adam Pearce and Mia Yim. Mia doesn't appreciate it. Adam Pearce just told him that you can't be so rude to everybody, which is kinda weird because isn't that the whole point of pro wrestling? Adam, you gotta tell that to the whole locker room. It was interesting how Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson didn't make such a big deal out of it, but AJ Styles did. We see Bobby Lashley. He got a great crowd reaction. Someone said, "I love you, Bobby." He said, "I love you too." Lashley says everywhere he goes, people keep asking him what's happening with him and the Street Profits. He says real recognizes real and great recognizes is great. Then he introduces the Profits. He says they're charismatic, athletic, and more aggressive than ever. The Street Profits talked about how they formed a friendship with Lashley. He helped them see the bigger picture. Thank you. The Profits are coming for power, control, and gold. So we don't know the name of the faction. From what it seems like, we ain't gonna get one, which is kinda interesting. It's almost like Bobby Lashley is like MVP right now. We see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They faced LWO NWO, which was really interesting because we saw two babyface teams and the match was rather short. So I'm not sure what was that kind of a decision, but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just absolutely destroyed the LWO and sent the message to the Judgment Day. And it does necessarily break the brand split rules because, I mean, they're holding both Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We see a confrontation between Jimmy Uso and AJ Styles. You wanna disrespect me, Chain? What's your problem? They pushed each other and AJ Styles got attacked by Solo Sikoa. Jimmy, you're out the bloodline when we say you're out the bloodline. Not you, Roman or Paul can tell me anything, Us. And he leaves the arena. So now it's pretty clear. AJ has a problem with the bloodline. Cena has a problem with the bloodline. I think we're seeing that match at Fastlane. And AJ Styles wants a piece of Solo Sikoa in the main event. Again, The Miz and LA Knight absolutely delivered again. LA Knight says you keep cosplaying people like The Rock, John Cena, and myself because you wanna be us. LA Knight worked extremely hard to get to where he is. Miz wouldn't last a day in his boots. And Miz is right by saying he's not on his level. He's above Miz's level. The Miz says LA Knight was the first to be eliminated from a reality show called The Hero. But LA Knight responds, you're not even a star of your own show, Miz and Mrs. He tells Miz to give Maurice his regards for sending her a broken husband. And Miz must be pissed about that one. But The Miz says once LA Knight will lose to him, he will lose all the popularity, all the hype. You'll be back to your old life. LA Knight says Miz was right in that he doesn't quit because he doesn't know how. We saw a brawl between the two. The Miz actually came out on top. He left, but LA Knight is a one tough SOB. He comes back and beats the crap out of The Miz. Man, I'm ready for the match and I wouldn't mind if this rivalry is going to continue after the pay-per-view. Last time I was so invested in anything The Miz did was back when we had The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. We saw Shotzi versus Bayley. That is a very unique look. I gotta tell you, man, that is a very unique look. The match was okay. I mean, we got Charlotte Flair with the interference and Shotzi won the match. And it was finally time for the main event. Solo Sikoa versus AJ Styles. Paul Heyman was watching the match. It just felt right seeing AJ Styles in the main event again. This is the house that AJ Styles built. And you know what? This was one of the best Solo Sikoa matches in the WWE so far, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this match. Now, Paul Heyman distracts AJ Styles. AJ was going for the phenomenal forearm. Jimmy pushes him, and Solo Sikoa wins the match. Solo wasn't impressed. He was about to attack Jimmy Uso, but Paul Heyman stops him. Jimmy Uso with the Uso splash to AJ Styles, and I think he's pretty much back in the bloodline. It's pretty clear we're getting that tag team match, right? So these are my thoughts on the show. I think it was pretty big. I'm just so happy to see John Cena back in the WWE. It's really unfortunate that this event is not gonna be on the WWE Network or the Cock. I mean, we're getting John Cena in a wrestling match and we ain't gonna see it. Kinda makes sense though when you think about it. Hey, but maybe Fastlane. So thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe if you already did it, and The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.